Sometimes we use words and we don't really know what we're talking about. We don't think clearly about what the word means, which means we're not thinking about what the thing that we're talking about really means. And that's definitely true when it comes to routines. Hi, I'm Mystie Winckler, and you've found the Simply Convivial podcast, short but meaty focus sessions to help you banish overwhelm and perfectionism so you can manage family life cheerfully and competently. So, what is convivial? Convivial means doing life together with joy. It's the home atmosphere that we want as moms, but it's not usually our default setting. As moms, we are the atmosphere of our homes. So let's choose joy and become the convivial tone in our home. I'm Mystie Winckler, and I'm a homemaker and a homeschooling mom, author of the book, The Convivial Homeschool, Gospel Encouragement for Keeping Your Sanity While Living and Learning Alongside Your Kids. And I'm here to help you organize your attitude and dig into the good work that God has called you to do. To do that today, I have a clip from a recent weekly seminar all about routines. Every week inside my community, Convivial Circle, I show up live and give a 20-minute seminar on our monthly topic. And October's topic is routines. We talk about routines, we create routines, but what really is a routine? How do we distinguish between routines and habits and projects? And does it even matter? It does matter what we're talking about. So I clipped the parts from this workshop where we really dive into the nitty-gritty of thinking through what a routine is and why that matters in our everyday life. Grab a basket of laundry to fold, and let's dig in. Which routine you would really like to focus in on? Which routine would you like to make stronger? And maybe that means starting from scratch. You don't have a morning routine or an evening routine or an EHAP routine or any kind of cleaning routines, a declutter routine, a personal reading routine, a Bible reading routine. There are all kinds of routines. Maybe a dinner prep routine, a meal plan routine. I'm going to get tired of saying this word, I can tell. The possibilities are practically endless. And the temptation is to start with that blank sheet of paper and think that you can create the elaborate routine system structure that's going to work together so well and mesh, and all your bases will be covered and it's all going to be amazing. That's the temptation. And it just doesn't work that way. And I know because I've tried many times to just engineer the perfect like card tower of routines. A card tower is what it ended up being. I thought I was building like an elaborate, like maybe at least a Lego tower where the blocks really click together nicely and it's not going to just blow over with a puff of wind, or like when someone opens the door, that's just enough air movement to send it all flying. But it was always more like a card tower than a Lego tower. And that's because I thought that there was more strength in the planning, in the theory, and that if it was designed properly from the get-go, that was the key to make it all work. And it's not true. The key to making it all work is actually just doing the work. So it's a big bummer. Routines don't work unless you do the routines. That's the secret sauce of routines, is you just have to get up and do them. I know you are all here for the deep philosophical insights, and so this is one of them. And there's the planner one. For your planner to work, you have to look at your planner. For your routine to work, you have to do it. It's what it boils down to. And we have to baby step those routines and iterate them, just like everything else. The engineered from the beginning perfect system has zero traction in real life. It's all an abstract theory in your head, and you can't go from 0 to 60. You have to begin moving forward slowly and build to get there. On the one hand, sure, you can design the system, every single routine all at once, and then say, okay, I'm going to start with one piece of one of the routines, and then I'll build it. But I know where I'm going, but I'm going to start small and start slow and build this up progressively. But I'm going to be building up from my blueprint, my architected blueprint of routines. And it doesn't even work that way. So it's not just that the baby step version is how we have to begin and how we have to build step by step incrementally. But when we start getting traction incrementally, we also realize that we don't really know what will work and what will be effective until we're doing. And so the blueprinted abstract architect plan where everything meshes together and looks beautiful on paper ends up not really applying in real life for a variety of reasons. So once you get started, you start getting traction and you can begin iterating and like even say, this wasn't the most important thing. I really need to go over here and focus on this routine. So let's get more specific here. And I would love to hear what routines you really want to work on. So just think about that. If I say you get one routine, which routine would you pick and why? And it's even just thinking about that question that will help give you some insight and clarity about even what part of that routine is really going to matter most or when that routine should really happen. We have to, the routines are not just about getting certain things done. The routines are about helping us move forward and do our duties, be responsible with joy. Don says evening routine to start the next day right. Zara says exercise or decluttering, can't decide. So if you can't decide, how about think about what outcome do you want out of the routine? What do you think the routine will get you? And we'll talk here in a minute about what a routine actually is and what kind of outcomes are actually possible from routines. Fitness, Joanna says, reading routine instead of looking at my phone. Exercise after cross country is over. So those of us who are project people, I'm a project person, have a hard time with routines. There are project people and there are plotting people. And the plotters are great with routines. But the difference is a project has an end goal, an outcome that you're trying to achieve. So let's take the fitness or exercise. Several people have said fitness or exercise. Let's take that as an example and talk about the project version versus the plotting version. And there's a time and a place for both. They're different modes, but they also are both necessary at times. The project has an end goal for the work. So that would be like a weight loss goal, the standard, I'm going to lose 10 pounds. And so then the problem with the project and the exercise goal, on the one hand, it gives you a little bit more motivation. You have something actually measurable to work toward, but that's a project and a goal. It will, and you'll be able to say, I did that. And then maybe the weight will come back and you'll get to do it again, but that's still not a routine. It's a project. And then exercise is one of the ways, it's the one tool you're using in the project to achieve the goal. And you're doing it, again, for an endpoint. A routine would be saying, I need to exercise because I just need to keep my body healthy. It's maintenance. It's not an end goal. You are thinking about long-term, overarching maintenance type of mode. And see, exercise is appropriate for both, because the reality is that when you get that, if you get that weight loss goal, you really shouldn't just stop exercising, right? There is a plodding, maintenance, routine element to exercise. And when we want an exercise routine, I think it's helpful if we're super clear about that maintenance element instead of tricking ourselves into thinking that it's a deadline kind of a thing or an outcome thing. We will get outcomes and benefits and traction and improvement and growth, but all of those things will continue to build. They're like infinitely buildable. You don't actually get to the point of saying, now I don't have to do this anymore because I'm at the place I want to be. Because if you stopped, you'd actually lose ground. And so that's the same thing with the dishes, right? Because we eat every day and we cook every day and we're supposed to be, that's just an ongoing area of life. We have to do the dishes every day. So we need a dishes routine because the work is ongoing. Entropy will take over, chaos will take over. There is no point at which you can say, I have done the dishes so well that I will never have to do dishes again. Same thing with laundry, same thing with sweeping, mopping, exercising, meal planning. There is no, I have achieved this level and now I don't have to do it anymore. So the routine acknowledges that the work doesn't end. And you're not working for an end point, a finish line. You are working to build this into just normal life. This is just something that's not going to be a problem. I'm accepting this. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep doing this. And even if there are like mini milestones, say if you want a reading routine, thinking of it as a routine means reminding yourself that there's always more books to read. If you're going to be a reader, you have to keep reading. And you might set a goal like, I'm going to read 25 books this year, or I'm going to read 1 book a month, or whatever the goal is. And you can measure that and track that and be using your reading routine toward that goal. But you never have read so much that you're done reading, right? You just move on to the next goal, to the next. It's really more of a milestone, and it continues to move forward. And so for project people, sometimes, or it can be tempting to hear that and just basically go into a bad attitude mode. And like that means it's just like, whoa. But we have to repent of the bad attitude, because that's all we can have projects and be in our element and rejoice about that. But the reality is that the world works primarily on a plotting basis. Most of life is ongoing. And it's good. That's actually a good thing. Life takes maintenance, and that's a good thing. And it's not actually a bad thing. Life is a series of continual ongoing steps. It's not a series of discrete, individual, unconnected projects. We eat every day. We clean every day. There are so many things that we just do on an ongoing basis because that's the structure of the world and the structure of life and the structure of families. And we're supposed to be doing these things on repeat. And when we stop, there is entropy built in. Things devolve and degrade when we don't apply just continual small attentions and efforts toward it. So if we come at routines or any of the kind of work that is routine, or we really need to be routine, if we come at that with the project mentality, we're going to be discouraged because we're trying to make the routines into something they aren't. We're trying to alter the nature of the universe, and that will just mean that we are going to be discouraged and frustrated because we're trying to make it into something it isn't. And it is possible to recognize the kind of thing that a routine is, the kind of work that is routine, and just begin enjoying it for its repetition. And when we embrace routines for what they are, I think that helps us break it down and keep them small as well. And that's it for this episode of the Simply Convivial podcast. If you're enrolled in Convivial Circle, then you can find the full seminar replay in the member-only podcast. This one was from October 3rd. Do you need to overcome unrealistic expectations for your home management system? Our 6-week program, Sweep and Smile, walks you through both setting up a minimum viable home routine and changing what your inner narrator says about those routines as well. Improve your basic routines and organize your attitude with Sweep and Smile. We start another live accountability group working through the program on October 13th, so enroll today to join the group. You can find the link in the description below or go to simplyconvivial.com and click the green enroll button to get started right away. It will help you to repent, rejoice, repeat, even in housework.